All right. Good morning. Good morning. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, let me go live on Rumble. Do this. Download Rumble. Follow me at Gina19 on Rumble. Okay, so we on Project 2025, Promise 4, because I'm going to read this whole thing. Secure our God-given liberty, right to enjoy the blessings of liberty. The Declaration of Independence famously asserted the belief of America's founders that all men are created equal and endowed with God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's the last pursuit of happiness that is central to America's heroic experiment on self-government. When the founders spoke of pursuit of happiness, what they meant might be understood today as the essence of pursuit of blessedness. Our Constitution grants each of us the liberty to do not what we want, but what we are. This pursuit of good life is found primarily in family, marriage, and children, Thanksgiving dinners, and the like. Relying with that to so many of our indigenous Native Americans, which I'm Choctaw, and on the down road, thanks to my great great grandfather Jack Williams. So, um, so many of them were slaughtered. So I take offense to Thanksgiving. But anyway, many find happiness through their work. Think of dedicated teachers or healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs or plumbers throwing themselves into their business. Anyone who sees a job well done as a personal reward. Religious devotion and spirituality are the greatest sources of happiness around the world. Still, others find themselves happiness in their local or friends, their neighbors, their civic or charitable work. The American Republic, because this is not a democracy, it's a republic, was founded on principles prioritizing and maximizing individual rights to live their best life or to enjoy what the framers called the blessings of liberty. It's this radical equality, liberty for all, not just for rights, but of authority that the rich and powerful have hated about democracy in America since 1776. They resent America's audacity in insisting that we don't need them to tell us how to live. It's this inalienable right of self-direction, each person's opportunity to direct himself or herself in his or her community to the good that the ruling class sustain. With the Declaration Constitution, our nation's founder handed to us the means which to preserve that right. Abraham Lincoln wrote the Declaration as an apple of gold in a silver frame. The Constitution. So must the next conservative president look to those documents when the elites mount their next pearl of left to their own devices, the American people rejected European monarchy and colonialism just as we rejected slavery, second-class citizenship for women, mercantilism, and socialism. Wilsonism, globalism, fascism, communism, and today's wokeism. To the left, these asserts the patriotic self-assurance are just too many signs of how our moral depravity and intellectual inferiority prove that, in fact, we need a ruling elite to make decisions for us. Now, and behold, a horse William Cooper talks about how they have to get rid of patriotism. And like I said before, patriotism is the last in Iran, the last for the New World Order to take place. They got to get rid of the patriots, and that's what's happening now. J6 program. But the next, uh, but the next conservative president should be proud, not ashamed of American unique culture of and ordered liberty. After all, the countries where Marxists and elites have won political and economic power are all weaker, poorer, and less free of it. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And we being destroyed right now. The United States remains the most innovative and upwardly mobile society in the world. Government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people, and the next conservative president should champion the dynamic genius of free enterprise against the grim miseries of the elite-directed socialism. The promise of socialism, communism, Marxism, progressivism, fascism, whatever name you choose, is simple. Government control of the economy can ensure equal outcomes for all people. The problem is that it has never done so. There is no such thing as the government. They're just people who vote for the government and wield the power and who at almost every opportunity wield it to serve themselves instead of the American people. Because the government is supposed to be for the people, by the people. But they don't give a care about what you're thinking. They don't care. Democrats have been in office 12 or 16 years and look and have control. If you're happy with that, then that's how you want it. This is not a failing of one nation or socialist party, but inherent in human nature. Nighttime satellite images of Korean Peninsula plainly show the free market South lit up with homes, businesses, and cities electrified from coast to coast. By contrast, communist North Korea is almost completely dark, except for the small dot of capital city Pyongyang, where a psychotic dictator and his cronies live. The same phenomenon is on display in the infuriating fact that four of the six richest country counties in the United States are the suburbs of Washington, D.C., a city famous for its native productive industry. We see the same corruption expressed on an individual level wherever billionaire climate activists who want to outlaw carbon fuel transportation. Exactly. And you can't even, we don't even have electric grid for all those cars. And if they don't go nowhere, fly to an A-list conferences on a private jet. So when COVID-19 shut down, politicians like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and California Governor Gavin Newsom were caught at the hair salon or dining at a fancy restaurant after moralizing about how everyone must stay home and wear masks, and they ain't wore no mask. And we going back on lockdown. Yes, we are. It's happening already in here. We going back on lockdown. But socialists who are almost always well-to-do, socialism is not a means of equalizing outcomes, but a means of us never get around to helping anyone else. The Soviet Empire was a social failure. North Korea, despite the obvious of its tyrants, is one of the poorest nations in the world. Cuba is so corrupt that its people regularly risk their lives to escape to Florida on rafts. Venezuela was once the richest nation in South America. Today, a decade after Marxist dictator took over, 94% of Venezuelans live in poverty. Even Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders' home state of Vermont was forced to repeal the state's single-payer health care system just 3 years after creating it. In every case, socialist elites promise that if only they could direct the economy, everything would be better. That's a lie. Very quickly, everything got worse. In socialist nation after socialist nation, the only way the government could keep its disgruntled people in line was to surveil and terrorize them and put them in prison. I added that part, that's true. Or make them a martyr. By contrast, in countries with a high degree of economic freedom, elites are not in charge because everyone is in charge. People work, build, invest, save, and create according to their own interests in the service to the common good of their fellow citizens. There's, there's a reason why the private economy skews to the maximum. The customer is always right. While government bureaucracies are notorious under user unfriendly, that's a fact. Just as there's a reason why private charities are cheerful and government welfare systems are not. It's not because poverty store clerks and PTA meetings are good and federal bureaucracy is bad. It's because private enterprises, I don't know why this thing keeps going on. Every time I go live, I'll be right back. I don't even know why it's going on. That's crazy. It's because private enterprise, for profit or nonprofit, must cooperate to give to succeed. So, as American people take back their sovereignty, constitutional authority, respect for families and communities, they should also take back their right to pursue the good life. The next president should promote pro growth economic policies, yes, that spur new jobs and investment, yes, higher wages and productivity. Yes, that agenda should include overdue tax and regulatory reform, but it should go further and include antitrust enforcement against corporate monopolies. It should promote educational opportunities outside the woke dominated system of public schools and universities, including trade schools, apprenticeship programs, and student loan alternatives that find students' dreams instead of Marxist academia. Agreed. Just as important as expanding opportunities for workers and small business, the next president should crack down on crony capitalist corruption that enables America's largest corporations to profit through political influence rather than cooperative and customer satisfaction. Agree with that. Pro-growth reforms for America's volunteer civil society are all in order. America is not an economy, it is a country. Economic freedom is not the only important freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom to live of the American promise. And I'm so sick of this Wi-Fi. Get it together. Today, in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, we are speakers at universities shut it down. Parents investigate and arrest to speak at school board meetings, and donors to conservative cause harassed and intimidated. The next president must defend our First Amendment rights. What they saying on here, I agree with their yes. Ultimately, the left does not believe that all men are created equal. They think they are special. They certainly don't think all people have the unalienable right to pursue the good life. They think only they themselves have such a right, along with a moral responsibility to make decisions. Any citizen, state, business, church, or charity should be allowed any freedom until they first. And then the entire Project 2025 is a plan to unite the conservative movement and the American people against elite rule and woke culture warriors. I couldn't agree more. Our movement has not been united in recent years, and our country has paid the price. In the past decade, though, the breakdown of families, the rise of China, the greater was beneath big tech abuses, and the erosion of constitutional Washington have rendered these divisions not just inconvenient but political suicide. Every hour, the left directs federal policy and the elite institutions are sovereign, our Constitution, our families, and our freedom is a step closer to disappear. And that's what the New World Order is about, a dictatorship of the whole world, and it's coming. Conservatives have just 2 years and one shot to get this right. With enemies at home and abroad, there is no margin for error. Time is running short. If we fail to fight for every idea of America may be lost. That is a fact. Take the small window of opportunity we have left to act with courage and confidence and not despair. The last time our national movement was to near defeat, we rallied together behind a great leader and great ideas transcended our differences, rescued our nation, and changed the world. It's time to do it again. Now it's being, we know we are fighting and what we're fighting for our republic, our freedom, and for each other. The next conservative president will enter office on January 20, 2025 with a simple choice, greatness or failure. It will be a daunting test, but no more so than every generation of Americans have faced and passed. The conservative promise represents the best effort of conservative movement in 2023 and the next conservative president's last opportunity to save our republic. I don't see nothing wrong in promise number 4. Next time we're gonna get into section 1, taking the reins of government. So this is a late comment.